Hey friends, it's Ryan from Raw Forest Foods. Today I'm going to explain to you all about our endocrine strengthening formula and why the endocrine strengthening formula is your premier formula for raising low levels of testosterone and decreasing high levels of estrogen. Now this formula is designed specifically for those folks who are going through andropause and have those low levels of testosterone, and for anyone else that is suffering a pre-andropause or any other ailment that is lowering their levels of testosterone and increasing their levels of the estrogen hormones. Now we designed this formula specifically for those people who are attracted to pine pollen for its phytoandrogen containing attributes. Now we include pine pollen in this formula specifically because it contains phytoandrogens. What's a phytoandrogen? It's easy, it's a plant version of the male sex hormones. Pine pollen, as we know, is the most potent source of these. They are so bioidentical that when we take them, we can feel the immediate effects from the phytoandrogens. The phytoandrogens include testosterone, DHEA, and 4 other of the male sex hormones. It contains the full array of those androgens. So the endocrine strengthening formula contains that, so we get that immediate boost. It also contains 4 other herbs, so that together, all 5 of them address every component needed to safely and effectively increase those levels of male sex hormones and decrease those levels of estrogen. So we start with the pine pollen. To the pine pollen we add Chinese red ginseng. Chinese red ginseng is really the premier male reproductive tonic herb. It works on the endocrine system and it works on the immune system. For the endocrine system, Chinese red ginseng is going to increase your production of testosterone. It's also going to act very strongly to remedy a lot of different ailments that affect the male reproductive system. This has been confirmed in countless thousands and thousands, literally, of clinical research trials in China and also now in the US. Chinese red ginseng is really your go-to herb if you're suffering from things like erectile dysfunction, low sperm count, that includes low sperm mobility, or any type of male fertility issue. It's also great for premature ejaculation. You can even use Chinese red ginseng for benign prostate enlargement. To the pine pollen and the Chinese red ginseng, we add an Ayurvedic herb that is the Ayurvedic master male reproductive tonic. So just like Chinese ginseng is in China, this is for Ayurvedic medicine. Now that is tribulus. Tribulus works very uniquely on the anterior pituitary gland. The anterior pituitary gland is really the first step in testosterone production. From the anterior pituitary gland, we get luteinizing hormone. And then from luteinizing hormone, we get follicle stimulating hormone. And then follicle stimulating hormone is going to give us testosterone and the other male sex hormones. However, it's not enough just to increase levels of testosterone. For folks who have gone down the conventional route and have done hormone replacement therapy, they find that things like their libido are not really affected so much from the testosterone as they thought they would be. It might give them an immediate initial kind of boost. Over the long run, it doesn't do it. But the luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone, that's really where the libido is going to come from. So tribulus is great for people who are suffering low libido because it's going to increase the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, but it's also going to give us that boost in testosterone production, just like the Chinese red ginseng is. Tribulus is also going to do a very key thing. Tribulus is going to deactivate aromatase. Aromatase is the enzyme that upconverts testosterone to harmful estrogen metabolites, where they can contribute to things like prostate problems and a lot of other health issues. We don't want that. Whenever we have high levels of testosterone, we have to be worried about the estrogen metabolites. Now that's because of aromatase. If we can deactivate aromatase, then we don't have to worry about those higher levels of testosterone. So we hear a lot of things about prostate issues being related to testosterone. It's only related insofar as the testosterone is being upconverted to estrogen. If we can prevent that upconversion from happening, we're going to prevent the testosterone from turning into estrogen. It's very important. So tribulus is going to deactivate that aromatase so that we're not getting that metabolism from happening anymore. Now, to the pine pollen, the Chinese red ginseng, the tribulus, we're going to add nettle root. Now, nettle root is different from the herb that we all know as nettle. Nettle is a great herb. It's very nutritive. It's a macroaccumulator, which means that it pulls things from the ground, stores them in the leaves, where then we can eat them. I love eating nettle in all different types of ways. My all-time favorite is soup. Nettle root, however, is a male ally. It works to decrease levels of sex hormone binding globulin. Now, sex hormone binding globulin is really the death of testosterone. This is important for men and women, specifically for men. So when the testosterone circulates in the body, it's active. When it meets sex hormone binding globulin, it gets arrested, it's no longer active. So when we hear things like free testosterone or blood serum levels of testosterone, we're really talking about the testosterone which has not yet been arrested by the sex hormone binding globulin. So in this formula, we include nettle root so that we keep the testosterone that's being produced by your body and the testosterone that you're getting from the pine pollen active longer. So we have the pine pollen, Chinese red ginseng, tribulus, nettle root, and to that we add the potentiating herb, ginger. Ginger has a very strong effect on pine pollen. If you take pine pollen and ginger together, it pretty much triples or quadruples the effects of the pine pollen. One of my favorite ways to take pine pollen powder is a ginger tea that I add the pine pollen to. I add a little bit of honey, stir it up. It is divine. Now we add ginger because of its potentiating effects on the pine pollen, but also because ginger helps to metabolize estrogen from the body. So when we have high levels of estrogen is hard for the body to rid on its own. It's stored in fat tissue. Even if you have low body fat, it's still gonna be stored there. It's hard to get rid of, so we have to include different herbs and nutritional supplements really into our diet to deal with that estrogen toxicity. In our endocrine strengthening formula, of course, we address that with the ginger. So the ginger is going to help remove, it's going to help lower those levels of estrogen. So for the majority of people, they have low levels of testosterone. Now this is true for men and women. Remember, they have low levels of testosterone and high levels of estrogen. So we have testosterone down here, we have estrogen up here. Now we can use herbs to raise our levels of testosterone so that it meets the high levels of estrogen, or we can use herbs to increase those levels of testosterone and also to decrease those levels of estrogen. And that is really going to give us the effects that we're looking for. If you have any questions that haven't been answered in this video about our endocrine strengthening formula, I want you to reach out to us and ask us. You can use the YouTube page here, you can use our Facebook page, you can shoot us an email at info@rawforcefoods.com. Anyway, we're gonna get back to you and answer those questions. As a real quick recap, our endocrine strengthening formula is the premier tonic formula for men who are experiencing andropause or anybody else who has those low levels of testosterone and those high levels of estrogen and wish to restore a healthy homeostasis of their endocrine system. We thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. We know it's long, but it's a lot of important information. Check out www.rawforestfoods.com and scroll through there, look for the different product pages for endocrine strengthening formula, the capsules and the tincture, and all this information is going to be there in written format. So if you didn't catch it on this video, just cruise over to Raw Forest Foods and you're gonna see it all there. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you have a great day.